Hi, welcome back to Mr. Menta's ELL classroom. Today we're going to continue talking about Chapter 10, the simple present tense. We have a reading exercise today. You will need this, page 92, from your textbook with the reading exercise on it. You do not need to print it. And this, page 93. This one, it's a maybe print. I'm going to say you don't need to print this. You'll probably learn more if you write the answers on a separate sheet of paper. But there's parts of this that has fill-in-the-blank exercises, so you may want to write on that. So it's up to you. Anyway, they're both in the description of the YouTube video, as they always are. So, first thing you got to do is read this story about the Garcia family. Okay? It's not really that long. It's mostly pictures. Okay? Read the story about the Garcia family. Then we're going to go over here and start asking and answering questions about it. So, I am not going to read this story for you. We're pretty far into this chapter. We're pretty far into the book. You should be able to read your own stories by this point in the class. So what I'm going to do, first thing, is I'm going to tell you to go ahead and pause the video and read the story. Remember, we're going to be answering questions about this story, so you'll need to remember it. So pay attention, okay? So read the story to yourself. I recommend you read it out loud. If it is at all difficult, reading out loud makes it easier. So, pause and read. When you're done, unpause and come back to me. All right, did you finish reading the story? Did you pause the video and read the story? So you'll notice up here they talked about everyone in the Garcia family does different things during the week. But then down here on the weekend, they do a lot of things together. Okay, that's looks like a pretty good family. I wouldn't mind having that. We used to clean the house every weekend. My family, my dad was real OCD about it. All right. So, first thing we're going to do is Q&A. Using these models, make questions and answers based on the story on page 92. Well, like, what does Mr. Garcia do during the week? He works at the post office. What do the Garcias do on Saturday morning? They clean the house together. Good. So, I want you to go and write a question and answer for every character in the story, okay, or set of characters. So, I want a question and answer for Mrs. Garcia, for Jennifer and Jonathan, and I want you to talk about them as a group. I want you to practice that grammar, talking about them as a group, and the dog. Does the dog have a name? Max, yeah. And one question for what each of them do during the week, and then one question about what each of them do during the weekend. Okay? And remember, yeah. So Saturday morning. Well, these will be groups. These will be groups. So you can just say about the Garcias. But so say still I want 4. So Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, okay? Sunday evening. I want at least 4 questions here, at least 4, okay? So 4 questions about this, and 4 questions about this, okay? So pause the video and write those, questions and answers. Pause the video, write your questions and answers. All right. Did you pause the video and write the questions and answers? I'll put it back on this. So, they already did Mr. Garcia. We already did him. What does he do? He works at a post office. All right. So, what does Mrs. Garcia do during the week? Okay. So I said does. What does Mrs. Garcia do during the week? She works at the bank. Okay? Next, for these two, what do Jonathan and Jennifer do during the week? So I said, what do Jennifer and Jonathan do during the week? They go to school. What does Max do during the week? So again, we're back to does. What does Max do during the week? And so here, we're supposed to say it when we talk about dogs. But if you want to say he, I understand. He stays home. So you could say he stays home. You could say it stays home. I feel like when we're using a name, it feels weird to say it. But the rule is you're supposed to say it for a dog. We've spent enough time on that, I think. All right, next. So, next questions. So this is what you're supposed to have written, in case that was not clear. We are going over what you wrote now to see if it matches what I'm saying. We are still working. This is part of the lesson, okay? All right. So, next we're going to ask, what do the Garcias do on Saturday afternoon? What do the Garcias do on Saturday afternoon? On Saturday afternoon, they work in the garden together. What do the Garcias do on Saturday evening? Saturday evening, they watch videos together. What do the Garcias do on Sunday morning? They go to church. And question number 4, on what do they do on Sunday afternoon? On Sunday afternoon, they have a big dinner together. Doesn't that sound good? All right. So that's good. That's 4 questions each. Good job. Moving on. Now we're going to do this. We're going to have to do some writing here. Okay, so what's the answer? Does Mr. Garcia work at the post office? Okay, so I want you on your separate sheet of paper, write a number 1, and write now the answer. Does Mr. Garcia work in the post office? You just need to write the answer, right? Yes, he does. Okay? That's it. Yes, he does. All right, so go through these. Write the correct answer. Remember, sometimes you'll say do. Sometimes you'll say does. Sometimes you'll say don't. Sometimes you'll say doesn't. Pay attention. And still pay attention also to, are you talking about I, you, we, they, he, she, it? Mind your pronouns, okay? I want to make sure we've got those down, okay? So, pause the video, write the answers. All right, did you pause the video and write the answers? All right. Get my book out here in case I need it. Let's go through number 2. Do Jennifer and Jonathan go to school during the week? Yes, they do. Not does, do. Does Mrs. Garcia work at the post office? No, she doesn't. She works at the bank. Okay? Extra points if you wrote she works at the bank. Good job. Number 4. Do Mr. and Mrs. Garcia have much time together during the week? No, they don't. Does Jennifer watch videos on Saturday evening? Yes, she does. Because all the Garcias watch videos on Saturday evening, and Jennifer is a Garcia. Do Jennifer and her brother clean the house on Saturday morning? I believe so. That's what they do, right? Yes, she does. Sorry. Yes. Oh, but it's Jennifer and her brother. So yes, they do. Not she does. They do. Yes, they do. Number 7. Does Mr. Garcia work in the garden on Saturday evening? Saturday evening? I don't think so. Let's see here. No. No, he doesn't. He watches videos. Okay. All right. So now we come to these, and I think you can do these pretty much at the same time. These are fill in the blank. All the answers are going to be do or does, and then all the answers are going to be don't or doesn't. The same thing we've been practicing all this time. I think you can do it. Now, I want you to write the whole sentence, okay? Don't write just one word. Write the whole sentence. Get a little more practice, just a little more practice with your writing, okay? So take these, write these, the whole sentence, including do or does. These, the whole sentence, including don't or doesn't. And then we're not going to do the listening exercise on this page. I didn't like this one. So we're going to skip that one. So that should be it. So pause the video and fill in these blanks. Write the whole sentence on your separate sheet of paper. Then afterwards, you're done. All right. Did you write it all down? Okay. So, does Mr. Garcia work on the weekend? Do Jennifer and Jonathan go to school during the week? When do they watch videos? Where does Mrs. Garcia work? Do you speak Spanish? What does, it's always one, what does Mr. Garcia do during the week? 1. Don't or doesn't. Mr. and Mrs. Garcia don't work on the weekend. Jennifer doesn't work at the bank. We don't watch movies during the week. My son doesn't play a musical instrument. 5. My sister and I don't eat at Stanley's restaurant. 6. Our dog doesn't like our neighbor's dog. All right, you all done? That's the end of this lesson. Good work.